Hello everybody, welcome. I'm No02 and thank you for watching this video. This is the Zealot Preacher for Warhammer 40k DarkTide. That's the class we're talking about here today. Keep in mind, this is the closed beta for October, so things are subject to change and tweaking and numbers and blah blah blah. So take it with a grain of salt. But be sure to check out the timestamps here. I'm going to go over just plain and simple, reading all the abilities, what it does. Then we're going to talk about how I think this character is sort of going to be working itself into a team composition, what its role in the team is, as far as what its skills are allowing and things like that. So, we'll start off with its blitz. This is its grenade slot. Throw a stun. I think it should be stun, right? Unless this, I'm not a 40k lore guy. You'll probably hear me say that a lot. Unless stun is a lore thing, because I don't get you 40k people's words, your coherency, your big brain words here. But stun grenade it's a stun grenade. But I don't think it's a typo because it says throw a stun grenade that stuns all enemies within its blast radius. I feel like somebody would catch that typo when they had to read the word stun technically twice in the same sentence. Anyways, you get 4 stun grenades. It's a lot. You throw them, it blows up. Everything in there is stunned for a couple of seconds. It's quite nice. It's quite a bit of crowd control. In fact, crowd control is the name of the game for this character on the surface, but ooh, there's some more depth to this character, I think. Plus 10% toughness damage reduction to all allies in coherency. So the shields, the over shield, like before you take health damage, it's toughness first. Plus 10% damage reduction, which is quite nice. Chastise the wicked. The preacher dashes forward or towards a targeted enemy, replenishing all toughness, increasing the damage of the next melee hit by 25%, making it a guaranteed critical hit. Now, I'm a little confused in the wording here when it says the next melee hit is increased by 25%, making it a guaranteed critical hit. Is that saying that 25% is what a critical hit typically is? Or is it like plus 25% damage, and when you smack them, it's a critical hit? Those are two separate numbers, and they're being applied together. I'm not entirely sure. Next is Swift Exorcism, 10% melee attack speed. Martyrdom, plus 5% damage for each 15 points of missing health. Max stats 3. I want to point out here that this is not percentage damage, it's saying plus damage. So my take on it is, if you were to shoot one bullet out of your machine pistol bullet, which I assume does low damage, percentage-based stuff there would be less valuable. I'm sort of thinking here that plus 5 damage, potentially 15 damage per bullet, might be a lot of potential damage overall, right? If you're mag dumping 35 rounds and each bullet is doing an extra 15 points of damage, that feels like a lot to me. It feels like that was sort of an intentional concept here, that the Zealot Preacher isn't going to be, isn't doing the brain bursting, right? It's doing the sort of like, instead of being big chunks of damage, it's sort of like little DPS over time. And when I did my Psyker breakdown video, I tried to stay away from the word DPS, because DPS is damage per instance coupled with rate of fire. And the rate of fire for the Psyker is unbelievably slow. And so I sort of feel like here, and you'll sort of see it as we go through all the skills, I feel like the Zealot Preacher is potentially the character that has a really high ceiling for what could be really good DPS. And just like, I mean, when you're mag dumping that SMG and you got extra damage per bullet, sometimes you shred some stuff and it feels really good. Next is Until Death. Every 90 seconds taking damage that would kill you, gain invulnerability for 5 seconds. Pretty dang cool. And sort of right away we got the sort of blend of like crowd control with a stun grenade. We can restore all of our toughness. We get bonus toughness, like durability. But then we got like offensive skills as far as like melee attack speed, bonus damage, and potential invulnerability. You get this really nice blend of just like survivability coupled with DPS, like literally the straight up DPS damage. Look at the abilities. All of the abilities for pretty much all of the characters in the very first set of abilities for all of the characters seem to be toughness related, regenerating it in some way or another, or enhancing it. We have replenish 100% more toughness on melee kills, plus 33% toughness damage reduction on critical hit for 3 seconds. So when you score a critical hit, you get bonus damage reduction. Replenish 7% toughness per second while within 8 meters of any enemy. So if you get in the thick of it, you're just constantly regenerating health. It's really, really friggin' good, actually. And then plus 10% melee critical chance, plus 20% damage for stunned heretics, plus 10% attack speed below 50% health. Bonus is doubled if you're below 20% health. If your coherency aura now also grants plus 1% critical hit chance for each stack of martyrdom, which is the 3 stacks of the 5 plus damage. So 3% extra critical chance hit. Plus 20% toughness damage on your aura. So this guy right here. It's just, I'm assuming it goes from 10% to 30%, which feels like a nice jump. Using Chastise the Wicked, our main ability, replenishes 15% toughness to allies. So if you are incoherency, and so I'm assuming if you are near your teammates and then you charge away, your teammates that you leave behind get that percentage of extra toughness. That's my take on it. I don't know if it gives that to them when they, if you were to charge into coherency, would it give them that 50% as well? That'd be need. That would mean like need testing, right? Holy Revenant. When Until Death ends, you gain health based on the damage you dealt during Until Death. Melee damage dealt heals for twice the amount. You no longer get stunned by enemy melee attacks. When you take damage, gain 30% movement speed. After taking damage, you regain 30% of the damage taken over 5 seconds. Like some survivability stuff right in the center. Deal up to 20% increased range damage based on the proximity to the target. I don't know if this is like, I assume it's closer, right? Like if you get closer and then you mag dump them with your ranged weapon, it's more. That's my assumption here. Plus 5% damage for 5 seconds on hit for 5 stacks. Martyrdom now has 6 stacks. And for the ultimate stuff here, we got a melee critical hits reduce the cooldown of Chastise the Wicked by 1 second. Plus 20% attack speed for 5 seconds on using Chastise the Wicked. Chastise the Wicked now has 2 charges. So, can you sort of see the pattern here? The pattern that I have been seeing here, that for the most part, this is just DPS and survivability. It's all just DPS. Swing faster for more damage, do more damage for stun stuff, right? Extra critical chance on your melee. Give your teammates extra critical chance, right? Some durability stuff here. More durability. So it's just like, it just feels like DPS and durability. Like DPS and survivability. I think if we were to say that Orgarian is like the true like tank, essentially, the Zealot Preacher is like the off tank. Now, it feels like for the most part, the Zealot Preacher doubles down on close range combat. Their starting weapon is the auto pistol. You can't really ADS it, so it's like you need to be close to use it. It's good for crowd control. And then you switch to your sword, and again, it's just good for crowd control. So I feel like the Zealot Preacher, for the most part, doubles down on just being able to deal with the Horde very comfortably. But it has all of these other potential damage boosting effects on it that it feels like, given some circumstances of hitting these skills at the right time or knowing how to hit them, you can build up a bunch of extra damage potentially and then just shred the elites and the specials. Really, really cool. As far as all of the characters are concerned, I've had a lot of fun playing this character. And looking at these abilities, I'm excited to unlock them, like to see the different playstyles here, because I feel like if there was going to be one character, one class that's going to allow you to sort of solo clutch a mission, everyone's dead, you need to beat this mob of enemies by yourself, dodge pins by the net guys, and move around, complete objectives, or buy time for you to go and save your teammates who have been captured. This is the character to do it. With the ability to get invulnerability, the ability to like restore health to yourself during that invulnerability or health over time, and get extra damage, right? Either way you look at it, either you have enough survivability to brute force your way through the last bits of enemies to then go save your teammates, or you just have so much DPS to begin with that it's just you brute force your way through the horde of enemies and you take care of business and you're good to go. Plus, we have this extra mobility. You can get 2 stacks of it, or reduce how, or increase how often you can potentially get it, and things like that. So this really feels like this like potential to zoom all over the place, do a bunch of damage, DPS, survive instances where everyone else would die, and things like that. So this is actually a really cool class, and I think it's going to be like the pub stomper, solo clutch sort of class here potentially, as far as I'm thinking, because it has this really nice blend of just like, if you play your cards right, you're going to be really hard to kill, and you're going to do a crap ton of damage and things like that. And plus, we still have a great, like, increase your team's durability. So we're like this off-tank durability damage dealer. That's been really fun to play and figure out. And yeah, I think overall, like almost like different play style of like the Psyker. Like clearly the kit here encourages you to get up close and personal, not to be a little afraid of taking some hits, and then just dishing out the pain in a really smart way. And it's really cool. Let me know what you guys think here, because I'm seeing like potentially like if you can stun elites or bosses, that's a great way to increase your damage. But like just the bonus attack speed, maybe we take the critical chance here, or get extra toughness. But then when you Holy Revenant seems epic. Like Holy Revenant just seems like the game clutching ability, right? Like just you should die, but you don't. Then you clear the mob out and you heal a bunch of health. Things like that, right? So very cool kit potentially here that I see. Let me know what you guys think. I'd appreciate it, and I'll see you in the future.